folks, today I'm going to show you what happens when you try to play Pac-Man versus with the Dolphin Emulator. I'm using the latest dev build as of today, October 22nd. Okay, so let's load it up. I'll show you what happens. Okay, so we get to the Pac-Man versus screen where it says connect the Game Boy Advance to controller socket 4. So I'll show you how got this set up real quick. GameCube here. I went ahead and set all these up to 4. I've tried setting them to everything. I've tried setting all 3 of these to nothing, 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 and then GBA. I've tried setting this up to standard controller, standard controller, standard controller, and GBA. All GBA, whatever you do, it doesn't work. I'll show you what happens. So, we've got port 4 to GBA. Let's just go ahead, for the heck of it, put them all to GBA. Okay. So now we'll open up our Visual Boy Advance M. I'll show you how it's configured real quick. Options, Emulator. You want to uncheck pause when inactive. And the BIOS files. I have my BIOS file right there. So we'll go back to options. Link, joyless options. You want to enable this here. Set this IP address. It's just your local IP address. Hit OK. And it freezes this up, which it's supposed to do. So all's good. Then you go to open GBA, and then you just load that BIOS file. Now it says it's connecting, so it looks like it's doing something. Okay, and over here in Visual Boy Advance M, it's loading up the BIOS, and then we get this nifty little error here. Connection error. Connect the Game Boy Advance to controller socket 4. And I've read online, Dolphin forums, a couple different other places. No matter what you do, you always get this connection error. No matter how you configure your ports here, it always does that. So that really stinks. That means the game is not playable. I guess that's why it's a a 2-star compatibility in the Dolphin Wiki. But just to show you that I've got my configuration all set up correctly. Let's see. Go back to here. Let me just set this to standard. And you may have noticed earlier I had Zelda 4 Swords. It's another one that uses a GBA link. So I'm going to fire this up and show you how it's working. Yeah. Ooh, oh, yeah. So I got to get past this initial screen here. Okay. No memory card save. Okay, let's start. Now it'll ask me how many players. Let's just do 2-player. So right now I'm using the Xbox 360 controller, but it's telling me to plug in to slots 1 and 2 the Game Boy Advance. So I'll go back up here to configure, GameCube, GBA. So all 4 of them are GBA, that's fine. Hit OK. Okay, let's open up some more Visual Advanced screens. Options, link, joyless options. That's alright. Hit OK. It freezes. I'm just going to go to recent now. And it'll load the little BIOS screen as it did with Pac-Man Versus, but this time watch what happens. Aha! Look at the TV screen. Player 1 is ready. Or player 2. For some reason do player 2 first. Okay, so let's open up again. Boop. Boop. Options, link, joyless. Okay. Then we need to open up our BIOS file. Alright, so let's see if this works. Yes, so player 1, player 2 are ready to go. So if I click here, hit my back. Just so you can see I'm using the keyboard now because that's what the Visual Boy Advance are set up to use, I guess. So now it's working. So it works just fine for Zelda 4 Swords. Does not work for Pac-Man Versus. I've read on the Dolphin forums. A lot of people say there's only a couple games that actually work with this configuration. I'm not exactly sure what games those are. If you know, leave me a comment. If you also know what games don't work, like Pac-Man Versus with this configuration, that'd also be helpful to know for any future videos I do. And just if you're curious about how this is set up, you can also set up Visual Boy Advance to use your Xbox 360 controller, so you don't have to use a keyboard. And you can play it that way if you want, but depending on how many screens you have, it's going to get kind of hairy. So there you have it. You can see that my configurations are working correctly. Just unfortunately at this time, Pac-Man Versus is incompatible with the Dolphin Emulator using Visual Boy Advance M as your Game Boy Advance hookups. Hopefully one day the Dolphin devs will be able to sort this out and get it working, because I've never played Pac-Man Versus, but I've heard from several people that it's a really fun game. So yeah, hopefully one day I'll get to play it. But I hope you learned something from this video. Hopefully it'll help somebody out that's having issues, that thinks it should work, but it just doesn't. So see you folks next time. Have a good day.